Good, what's good? If you love a full, deep, sustain, just like a warm foundation for a bass progression, then I would like to show you a method for achieving such a sound as this. So that's the sound, referencing a wonderful piece of work by Courtney Storm called What a Feeling. I was referencing this track. So not bad, pretty close, obviously not perfect, pretty tough to do that, but I think it achieved a nice low end warmth that can be a nice what do you call this? Like, because you can just now have this and use it for whenever you want to have this vibe in a future track. So that's a nice thing about creating things like this, because then, you know, in another track you make, you can just throw on this bass group and then you have a great starting point for your low end. Anyways, so what I did was I broke it down into two tracks, two layers, one for this more sub low end warmth, that powerful low end booty, and then a Reese bass to fill in like the, you know, upper harmonics, give it a bit more stereo width and warmth. How do we do that? We do that with one layer called a sub layer. And yeah, you don't need to use any specific VST. As long as you can get a square wave kicking, then you're golden. So I used analog here, square wave, and let's get rid of everything for now. So here is square wave with it fully open. Ah, crazy. So yeah, get rid of all of that frequency with the filter frequency down to 99, bit of resonance. And that's pretty much it for the sound, the bass sound. ADSR, maybe look at the sustain, make sure it's fairly high so that it remains fully powerful throughout the progression. And yeah, so from there, threw on a saturator, bit of drive, and then just, you know, mixed it to taste. Get rid of this EQ. Bit more power behind that. And then it just kind of came down to shaping it with EQ. And these, you know, EQ moves aren't going to be the same every time. It's going to be contextual to what's going on top with the other elements of your track. Excuse me. And then a bit of compression. My go-to right now these days is the multiband compressor, where, you know, default settings, mix it halfway through. And what that does for me is it really brings the bass forward. So let's A/B it first. All right, jumping ahead here. Let's listen to the EQ there. Again, this is like contextual. It's not going to really, you know, in another track, it might not want this EQ. But either way, let's check out this compressor. Hear how that just brings it nice and forward. And then we have more EQ. So, you know, you don't need any crazy plugins, just some, maybe a bit of saturation, compression, EQ, the holy trifecta of mixing. Cool. So yeah, if you're just listening to the reference, or maybe you're listening to your track, listen to it and then decide, oh, well, maybe I want more in this range. And then you maybe hear something, oh, maybe I want less. So that's kind of all there is to it when it comes to EQing. Just trusting your intuition and then making the moves. And if you like it, run with it. If you don't like it, then your intuition was wrong and you're a failure. And you have to keep trying until you get it right. And then the next layer, so sub, but we want more harmonics, more width. You can do that with a Reese bass layer here. And to do that, we were rocking 2 saw waves. And then the second saw wave in the second oscillator is utilizing the fifth. So up 7 semitones or down 5. And really gives you that extra harmonic juice that is nice. So again, keeping mindful of the frequencies. We're not trying to get that high frequency energy with this bass. It's more a low end supporting element for the track. Warmth, deep, full. And then to give it that stereo width, threw on a chorus. Again, to taste, depending on how wide or how bassy you want it. And then again, just throwing on some EQ to control the frequencies, shape it so that it'll just fit the mix better. And just being mindful of the low frequencies, maybe like below 150-ish. When you have a Reese bass that's wide like this, it can be a good idea to potentially get rid of all that stuff in the sub area, because depending on your track, you might not want sub frequencies in your right and left stereo field. So just using a mid-side mode on the EQ8, drop it to the S, drop it to the 138, and then I was going to try to do some sort of cool, like drop it to the A, dip-a-dip-a-do, but couldn't think of anything. So anyways, that's what this EQ is doing here. We're getting rid of the sides. Hear that? And then, yeah, on the group, we're compressing the group and then EQing the full 2 layers together with these final 3 EQ. Sounds good with a kick. And that sidechain back on. Yeah, now, like I said, it's nice to have this ready to go for any future tracks that I want this type of bass. And yeah, so feel free to copy any of the settings, play around with it. And then, of course, I'll throw this on Patreon if you just want to download this bass group, so you can just have it for yourself. And yeah,